Hello, friends. Handshake sparkles. A very warm welcome to all of you in this amazing world of coins. United States. Welcome to the fascinating journey of United States Lincoln 1-cent coins, where every single penny carries its own unique history, design, and value. Today we are going to explore coins like 1982, 1989, 1990, 1994, D, 1995, D, and many other interesting pennies that are an important part of American history and culture. In this coin journey, you will see how powerful words like "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and "E Pluribus Unum" are engraved on each coin, representing the identity, belief, and values of the United States. Sparkles. These are not just coins. They're like small history books that tell the story of Abraham Lincoln's legacy, the evolution of minting technology, and the development of the American economy over time. So, friends, get ready for an exciting numismatic journey where every penny has its own unique story to tell. Rocket. The 1982 United States Lincoln 1-cent coin is one of the most historically significant and complex issues in modern American numismatics, marking a major transition in the composition and production of the penny. This coin continues the long-running Lincoln cent series first introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. On the obverse front of the coin, the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln appears facing right, a design created by Victor David Brenner. Above Lincoln's head is the inscription, "In God We Trust," which has been featured on U.S. coins for decades and serves as the national motto. To the left of Lincoln is the word liberty, representing one of the core ideals of the United States, and to the right is the date 1982, sometimes accompanied by a mint mark depending on where the coin was struck. Coins from Philadelphia traditionally had no mint mark, although this changed later, while coins minted in Denver carry a small D beneath the date. The reverse back of the 1982 penny features the Lincoln Memorial design, which had been in use since 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Designed by Frank Gasparo, the reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial Building in Washington, D.C., with the inscriptions "United States of America" across the top and "E Pluribus Unum" just beneath it, a Latin phrase meaning "out of many one," symbolizing the unity of the states. At the bottom of the coin, the denomination 1 cent is clearly displayed. A fascinating detail in this design is the tiny figure of Abraham Lincoln seated inside the memorial, making this one of the few coins in the world to depict the same individual on both sides. What makes the 1982 penny especially important is the dramatic change in its metal composition that occurred during that year. Due to rising copper prices, the U.S. Mint decided to shift from the traditional bronze composition, 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc, to a new composition consisting of 97.5% zinc with a thin copper plating of 2.5%. This change significantly reduced production costs, as the intrinsic value of copper had begun to exceed the coin's face value. As a result, 1982 became a transitional year in which both copper, bronze, and zinc pennies were produced, creating multiple varieties that are now of great interest to collectors. In total, there are 7 recognized major varieties of the 1982 Lincoln cent, making it one of the most studied and collected years in the series. These varieties differ based on composition, copper versus zinc, mint location, Philadelphia or Denver, and the size of the date, large date versus small date. The Philadelphia Mint produced copper large date, copper small date, zinc large date, and zinc small date varieties. The Denver Mint produced copper large date, zinc large date, and zinc small date varieties. Notably, there is no confirmed Denver copper small date variety, and if one were ever discovered, it would be considered extremely rare and valuable. The small date and large date varieties can be distinguished by subtle differences in the shape and spacing of the numbers in the date, particularly the 2 and the 8. Another key difference between the copper and zinc versions of the 1982 penny is their weight. Copper or bronze pennies weigh approximately 3.11 grams, while zinc pennies weigh about 2.5 grams. This difference allows collectors to easily identify the composition using a precise scale. Additionally, the sound and appearance of the coins can vary slightly, with copper coins often having a richer color and a more solid feel compared to the lighter zinc coins. Over time, zinc pennies are more prone to corrosion and plating damage, which can affect their long-term preservation. From a value perspective, most 1982 pennies are still quite common and generally worth only their face value in circulated condition. However, certain varieties, especially those in uncirculated or high-grade condition, can be worth more. Coins graded MS65 or higher by professional grading services may command premiums, particularly if they exhibit strong luster and minimal marks. Error coins, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or transitional errors, can be significantly more valuable depending on their rarity and condition. Collectors often pay special attention to the 1982 small-date copper coins, as these are among the more desirable varieties from that year. The 1982 Lincoln cent also reflects broader economic and historical trends in the United States during the early 1980s. Rising metal prices, inflation, and cost-saving measures influenced the decision to change the coin's composition. This shift marked the end of an era, as pennies have been primarily made of copper for nearly 2 centuries. The introduction of zinc-based coins represented a practical adaptation to economic realities, while still maintaining the traditional appearance of the penny through copper plating. In the world of coin collecting, the 1982 penny is often considered a must-know year due to its multiple varieties and transitional nature. It provides an excellent learning opportunity for both beginners and experienced collectors, encouraging careful observation and attention to detail. Many collectors enjoy searching through rolls of pennies to find different 1982 varieties, making it a popular choice for coin roll hunting. The excitement of potentially discovering a rare combination adds to the coin's appeal. Overall, the 1982 United States Lincoln 1-cent coin is far more than just a common piece of currency. It represents a turning point in U.S. minting history, combining traditional design with modern economic adjustments. Its multiple varieties, compositional changes, and historical context make it one of the most interesting and educational coins in the Lincoln cent series. Whether studied for its technical details, collected for its varieties, or appreciated for its symbolism, the 1982 penny remains an important and enduring part of American numismatic heritage. The 1982 Lincoln cent also offers insight into the evolving priorities of the United States Mint during a time of economic pressure and modernization. The decision to transition from a primarily copper coin to a zinc-based one was not made lightly, as it required adjustments in minting equipment, quality control, and long-term durability considerations. Zinc, being a softer and more reactive metal, introduced new challenges. To maintain the familiar look of the penny, each zinc core was electroplated with a thin outer layer of copper, giving the coin its traditional reddish appearance. However, this thin plating also made the coins more vulnerable to damage. Even small scratches or impacts could expose the zinc core beneath, leading to rapid corrosion and a dull, grayish appearance over time. This is why many 1982 and later pennies often show signs of wear or bubbling, even if they have not been heavily circulated. Another fascinating aspect of the 1982 cent is how it is studied and categorized by collectors. Numismatists often rely on magnification tools, precise digital scales, and reference guides to distinguish between the different varieties. The large date and small date differences may appear minor at first glance, but they are crucial in determining a coin's identity and potential value. For example, in the small date variety, the numbers in 1982 are more delicate and evenly spaced, while in the large date variety, the digits appear thicker and more widely spaced. These subtle design variations were the result of different master dies being used during production, and they add a layer of complexity that makes the 1982 penny especially engaging for collectors who enjoy detailed analysis. In addition to standard varieties, the 1982 penny is also known for occasional mint errors that can increase its desirability. These errors may include off-center strikes, where the design is not properly aligned to the coin's edge, die cracks, which appear as raised lines caused by fractures in the minting die, and double dies, where elements of the design appear duplicated due to misalignment during the die creation process. While such errors are not unique to 1982, the high production volume of that year increases the chances of encountering unusual or interesting pieces. Collectors often search through large quantities of pennies, sometimes thousands, in hopes of finding these hidden treasures. The role of the 1982 penny in educational context is also noteworthy. Because of its multiple varieties and clear compositional differences, it is frequently used as a teaching tool for new collectors. It introduces key numismatic concepts such as mint marks, die varieties, metal composition, and grading. Many coin collecting guides and beginner kits highlight the 1982 cent as an example of how even common coins can have hidden depth and complexity. This makes it an ideal starting point for those looking to develop their skills and understanding of coin collecting. From a historical perspective, the 1982 Lincoln cent also reflects a broader shift in how governments manage currency production. As inflation reduces the purchasing power of small denominations, the cost of producing coins can exceed their face value, leading to difficult decisions about whether to continue minting them. The transition to zinc in 1982 was one such solution, allowing the U.S. Mint to continue producing pennies at a lower cost while preserving their role in the economy. This issue remains relevant today, as debates continue over whether the penny should be retired altogether. In this sense, the 1982 coin stands at the center of an ongoing conversation about the future of low-denomination currency. Culturally, the Lincoln cent, especially one from a pivotal year like 1982, serves as a small but powerful symbol of continuity in American life. For generations, pennies have been used in everyday transactions, collected in jars, given as change, and even used in traditions and superstitions. The phrase, "a penny for your thoughts," or the idea that finding a penny brings good luck are deeply embedded in popular culture. The 1982 penny, while technically just one of billions produced, carries the same cultural weight and familiarity, connecting people across different eras. In the numismatic market, while most 1982 pennies remain low in value, certain high-grade examples or rare varieties can attract significant interest. Coins that have been professionally graded and preserved in near-perfect condition, especially those with full original red color, are more desirable to collectors. Additionally, any newly discovered or previously undocumented variety could potentially become highly valuable, as rarity and uniqueness are key drivers in coin collecting. This keeps the 1982 penny relevant and exciting, even decades after its release. In conclusion, the 1982 United States Lincoln 1-cent coin is far more than just a transitional piece of currency. It represents a convergence of economic necessity, technological adaptation, and historical continuity. Its multiple varieties, material changes, and widespread availability make it both accessible and intriguing. Whether examined for its fine details, collected for its variations, or appreciated as part of everyday history, the 1982 penny continues to hold a special place in the world of coin collecting and serves as a lasting reminder how even the smallest denominations can carry significant meaning. The 1989 United States Lincoln 1-cent coin is a representative example of late 20th century American coinage, combining historical continuity, modern minting practices, and enduring national symbolism. As part of the Lincoln cent series first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the 1989 penny continues a tradition that has become one of the most recognizable in the world. On the obverse front of the coin appears the right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This portrait has remained largely unchanged for decades, making it one of the longest-running designs in U.S. coin history. Above Lincoln's head is the inscription, "In God We Trust," the official motto of the United States, while the word liberty is placed to the left. To the right of Lincoln is the date 1989, accompanied by a mint mark depending on where the coin was struck. Coins minted in Philadelphia generally have no mint mark for this period, while those produced at the Denver Mint carry a D, and proof coins struck in San Francisco bear an S mint mark. The reverse back of the 1989 penny features the Lincoln Memorial design, which had been in use since 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Designed by Frank Gasparo, the reverse showcases the Lincoln Memorial Building in Washington, D.C., with remarkable detail considering the coin's small size. Above the memorial is the inscription, "United States of America," and directly beneath it is the Latin motto, "E Pluribus Unum," meaning out of many one, symbolizing the unity of the states. At the bottom of the coin is the denomination 1 cent, One of the most fascinating aspects of this design is the tiny depiction of Lincoln's statue inside the memorial, making the coin unique in that it portrays the same individual on both the obverse and reverse sides. In terms of composition, the 1989 Lincoln cent follows a standard adopted in mid-1982, consisting of a zinc core, 97.5%, with a thin outer layer copper, 2.5%. This change was implemented due to the rising cost of copper, which had made it impractical to continue producing coins with a high copper content. The coin weighs approximately 2.5 grams and measures 19.05 millimeters in diameter, with a plain edge. While the copper plating preserves the traditional reddish appearance of the penny, the zinc core introduces certain vulnerabilities. Over time, if the plating is damaged, the underlying zinc can corrode, leading to discoloration, bubbling, or pitting on the surface. As a result, well-preserved examples of 1989 pennies with full original red luster are often more desirable to collectors. The 1989 penny was produced in very large quantities, reflecting the continued demand for small-denomination coins in everyday commerce. The Philadelphia and Denver mints together struck billions of pennies that year, making it a very common coin in circulation. Because of this high mintage, most 1989 pennies found today in circulated condition are worth only their face value. However, coins in uncirculated condition, especially those graded MS-65 or higher, can carry a modest premium. Collectors often look for coins with strong strike quality, minimal contact marks, and bright, original surfaces. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint, which are specially struck for collectors using polished dies and planchets, are also popular and typically exhibit a mirror-like finish with frosted design elements. Although the 1989 Lincoln cent is not widely known for major varieties, collectors still search for minor errors and anomalies that can increase a coin's interest and value. These may include off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned, die cracks, which appear as raised lines due to fractures in the die, and double dies, where certain elements of the design appear duplicated. While such errors are relatively uncommon, they add an element of excitement for collectors who enjoy examining coins closely. The possibility of discovering a unique or rare error keeps even common coins like the 1989 penny relevant in the hobby. From a historical perspective, the 1989 penny reflects a period of transition and stability in the United States. The late 1980s were marked by economic growth, technological advancement, and significant global changes, including the end of the Cold War. While a 1-cent coin may seem insignificant in this broader context, it nonetheless played an essential role in everyday transactions and the functioning of the economy. Pennies were used in pricing, making change in small purchases, ensuring their continued production despite ongoing debates about their cost-effectiveness. The cultural significance of the inscriptions on the coin should also be considered. "In God We Trust" reflects a long-standing national motto. Liberty emphasizes the foundational value of freedom, and "PLURIBUS UNUM" highlights unity among diversity. These elements, combined with the enduring image of Abraham Lincoln, transform the coin into more than just currency. They make a symbol of American identity and values. Lincoln himself is remembered for his leadership during the Civil War and his role in preserving the Union, making his presence on the coin especially meaningful. For collectors, the 1989 Lincoln cent is often included in date and mint mark sets, which aim to represent each year and mint location in the series. While it may not be rare, it is an essential part of completing such collections. Many collectors also engage in coin roll hunting, searching through large quantities of pennies in hopes of finding high-grade examples or interesting errors from years like 1989. This activity adds an element of discovery and enjoyment to the hobby, even when dealing with common coins. In conclusion, the 1989 United States Lincoln 1-cent coin is a meaningful piece of modern American numismatic history. Its classic design, standardized composition, and widespread circulation make it both familiar and accessible, while its historical context and symbolic elements add depth and significance. Although most examples are not particularly valuable in monetary terms, their importance lies in their connection to a long tradition of coinage and their role in everyday life. Whether studied for its details, collected as part of a set, or simply appreciated as a piece of history, the 1989 penny remains an enduring and recognizable symbol of the United States and its values. Another important aspect of the 1989 Lincoln cent is how it reflects the efficiency and scale of modern U.S. mint operations. By the late 1980s, the mint had refined its high-speed production systems to an extraordinary level, allowing billions of coins to be struck with consistent quality. The machinery used at the Philadelphia and Denver facilities was capable of producing thousands of coins per minute, with strict quality control checks to ensure that most coins met circulation standards. Even so, the enormous production volume meant that small imperfections still occurred, and these minor variations are now part of what collectors study when examining coins like the 1989 penny. The surface characteristics of the 1989 cent also provide insight into how modern coins age in circulation. Because of its copper-plated zinc structure, the coin reacts differently to wear compared to older solid copper pennies. When exposed to moisture, chemicals, or even prolonged handling, the protective copper layer can break down in small areas, allowing the zinc core to become visible. This can lead to spotting, dull patches, or a rough texture known among collectors as environmental damage. While such coins still retain their face value, they are generally less desirable in the numismatic market compared to well-preserved red specimens that retain their original mint luster. In terms of grading and collecting standards, the 1989 Lincoln cent is evaluated using the same professional criteria as other modern coins. Coins that have never been circulated and retain their original mint condition are classified as mint state, with grades ranging from MS-60 to MS-70. The higher the grade, the fewer imperfections a coin has. A 1989 penny graded MS-67 or higher is considered exceptional and may command a premium among collectors who focus on high-grade modern coins. Additionally, proof versions of the 1989 cent, struck at the San Francisco Mint, are especially prized for their sharp detail and mirror-like surfaces, often preserved in special packaging issued directly by the U.S. Mint. The 1989 penny also plays a role in the educational side of coin collecting. Because it is relatively modern and easy to find, it is often used to teach beginners how to identify mint marks, understand coin composition, and recognize differences between circulated and uncirculated coins. It helps new collectors develop observation skills, such as noticing subtle differences in strike quality or surface condition. This makes the 1989 cent not only a piece of currency, but also a practical learning tool in numismatics. From a broader economic standpoint, the 1989 Lincoln cent reflects ongoing debates about the usefulness of the penny in the U.S. monetary system. Even by the late 20th century, the cost of producing a single cent was close to or sometimes exceeded its face value, raising questions about efficiency. However, the penny remained in circulation due to its role in pricing systems, consumer habits, and historical tradition. The 1989 coin, therefore, represents a balance between practicality and heritage, continuing production despite economic arguments against it. The design elements of the coin also reinforce its symbolic importance. The phrase liberty highlights one of the founding principles of the United States, while "In God We Trust" reflects a national motto that has been present on coin for decades. PLURIBUS UNUM adds a philosophical layer, reminding users of the unity formed from diverse states and populations. Combined with Lincoln's image, these inscriptions turn the coin into a compact representation of American identity, history, and values. In the collector's market, while most 1989 pennies remain common, their role in complete date sets ensures continued interest. Collectors who aim to assemble full Lincoln cent collections from 1909 onward must include years like 1989, making them essential even if not rare. Some enthusiasts also focus on finding coins with exceptional eye appeal, those that display bright red colors, strong luster, and minimal marks, even within common dates. This pursuit of quality over rarity keeps coins like the 1989 cent actively traded and appreciated. Overall, the 1989 United States Lincoln 1 cent coin stands as a reminder that even the most ordinary objects can carry historical, cultural, and educational significance. It reflects the technological capabilities of the U.S. Mint, the economic realities of its time, and the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln. While it may not be a rare or high-value coin, its place within the long-running Lincoln cent series ensures that it remains a meaningful part of American numismatic history and everyday life. The 1990 United States Lincoln 1-cent coin is a classic example of modern American coinage and forms part of the long-running Lincoln cent series that began in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln. By 1990, the Lincoln cent had already become one of the most recognizable and widely circulated coins in the United States. The obverse front of the coin features the iconic right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, originally designed by Victor David Brenner. This portrait has remained largely unchanged for decades, symbolizing continuity and respect for one of the nation's most admired leaders. Above Lincoln's head appears the inscription, "In God We Trust," the official motto of the United States, while the word liberty is positioned to the left of his portrait. On the right side, the date 1990 is clearly visible, and depending on the mint of origin, a small mint mark may appear just below or near the date. Coins produced at the Philadelphia Mint typically carry no mint mark for this year, while those struck at the Denver Mint feature a D, and coins from the San Francisco Mint, primarily proof coins, carry an S. The reverse back of the 1990 penny continues the Lincoln Memorial design that had been in use since 1959. Designed by Frank Gasparo, this reverse depicts the Lincoln Memorial Building in Washington, D.C., an enduring tribute to Abraham Lincoln's legacy. Above the memorial is the inscription, United States of America, and just below that is a Latin phrase, E Pluribus Unum, meaning out of many one, which reflects the unity of the nation. At the bottom of the coin is the denomination 1 cent. A particularly interesting detail of this design is that if viewed closely, one can see a tiny representation of Lincoln's statue seated inside the memorial. This unique feature makes the Lincoln Memorial cent one of the few coins in the world to depict the same historical figure on both sides of the coin. In terms of composition, the 1990 Lincoln cent follows the post-1982 standard of being made primarily of zinc, 97.5%, with a thin outer layer of copper, 2.5%. This composition was adopted to reduce production costs as the price of copper increased. The coin weighs approximately 2.5 grams and has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, with a plain edge. While the copper plating gives the coin its traditional reddish appearance, the zinc core makes it lighter than older pre-1982 copper cents. However, this composition also introduces certain vulnerabilities. Over time, the thin copper layer can wear or become damaged, exposing the zinc core underneath, which may lead to corrosion, discoloration, or bubbling. As a result, finding well-preserved examples of 1990 pennies with full original red luster can be more challenging than expected. The 1990 penny is also notable for a few interesting varieties and minting anomalies that have attracted the attention of collectors. One of the most discussed varieties is the 1990 No-S proof penny. Normally, proof coins struck at the San Francisco Mint carry an S mint mark, but a small number of 1990 proof cents were mistakenly struck without this mint mark. These coins were included in proof sets and are considered rare and highly valuable, with some examples selling for thousands of dollars depending on their condition. This error is one of the key highlights of the 1990 Lincoln cent series and demonstrates how even modern coins can contain significant rarities. Aside from the No-S proof variety, collectors may also encounter other types of mint errors in 1990 pennies, such as off-center strikes, die cracks, or minor double dies. While these are generally less dramatic than major varieties, they can still add collectible interest and value depending on their visibility and condition. Due to the high mintage of regular 1990 pennies, hundreds of millions produced at both Philadelphia and Denver. Most coins found in circulation today are common and typically worth only their face value. However, uncirculated coins, especially those graded MS-65 or higher, may carry a modest premium, particularly if they exhibit strong strike quality and bright, original surfaces. From a historical perspective, the 1990 Lincoln cent reflects a period of relative economic stability and technological advancement in the United States. The Mint had by this time fully adapted to the zinc-based composition and had refined its mass production techniques, allowing for the efficient creation of billions of coins each year. Despite ongoing debates about the cost-effectiveness of producing pennies, since their manufacturing costs often approached or exceeded their face value, the coin remained an essential part of everyday commerce. The 1990 penny, like others of its era, circulated widely and became a familiar part of daily transactions, from small purchases to saving in jars and piggy banks. For collectors, the 1990 Lincoln cent is often included in date and mint mark sets, which aim to represent each year and mint location in the series. While it may not be rare, it plays an important role in completing these collections. Many hobbyists also enjoy searching through rolls of pennies to find high-quality examples or potential errors from this year. The accessibility and affordability of the coin make it appealing to beginners, while the existence of rare varieties like the Noah's proof keeps it interesting for more advanced collectors. Culturally, the inscriptions on the coin continue to carry deep meaning. "In God We Trust" reflect a long-standing national motto. Liberty emphasizes the foundational principle of freedom, and "PLURIBUS UNUM" highlights unity among diversity. These elements, combined with Lincoln's enduring image, transform the coin from a simple unit of currency into a small piece of American identity and heritage. Even though it represents just 1 cent, the coin carries symbolic weight that connects it to broader themes in U.S. history and values. In conclusion, the 1990 United States Lincoln 1-cent coin is a meaningful and multifaceted piece of modern numismatic history. While most examples are common and hold little monetary value, the coin's design, composition, and historical context make it significant. Its connection to Abraham Lincoln, its role in everyday life, and the presence of notable varieties like the rare Noah's proof ensure that it remains relevant to collectors and enthusiasts. Whether studied for its details, collected as part of a set, or simply appreciated as a piece of history, the 1990 penny stands as a testament to the enduring legacy of American coinage. The 1990 Lincoln cent also reflects a refinement of minting quality control during the late 20th century. By this time, the United States Mint had significantly improved its die-making processes, resulting in sharper details and more consistent strikes compared to earlier decades. However, even with advanced technology, minor imperfections still occurred, which is part of what keeps collectors interested. Subtle variations in strike strength can be observed on some 1990 pennies, where details such as Lincoln's hair, beard, or the steps of the Lincoln Memorial appear either crisp or slightly weak. These small differences can influence a coin's grade and desirability, especially among collectors who seek high-quality specimens. Another notable aspect of the 1990 penny is how it behaves in circulation over long periods. Due to its copper-plated zinc composition, the coin is more sensitive to environmental exposure than older solid copper cents. When the outer copper layer is compromised, the zinc core can react quickly with moisture, leading to corrosion that appears as dark spots or rough patches on the surface. This has made it increasingly difficult to find older circulated examples from 1990 that remain in excellent condition. As a result, collectors often prefer coins that have been stored properly in albums, coin holders, or mint sets, where they are protected from humidity and handling damage. The 1990 Lincoln cent also plays a role in the broader study of coin grading, which is an essential part of numismatics. Coins are evaluated on a scale from poor, P1, to mint state, MS70, and even small differences in surface quality can significantly affect value. For a 1990 penny, factors such as luster, the presence of contact marks, and the overall eye appeal are carefully considered. Coins that retain their original red color, often referred to as red or RD in grading terms, are generally more valuable than those that have toned to brown BN or a mix of red and brown RB. This distinction is particularly important for modern coins like the 1990 cent, where large quantities were produced but relatively few remain in pristine condition. In the context of coin collecting as a hobby, the 1990 penny represents accessibility and continuity. It is a coin that many people may have encountered in everyday life, making it familiar and easy to obtain. For beginners, it offers a simple way to start a collection without significant cost, while still providing opportunities to learn about mint marks, grading, and error identification. For more experienced collectors, it serves as a reminder that even common coins can hold hidden value or interest when examined closely. The presence of rare varieties, such as the 1990 Noah's proof, reinforces the idea that rarity can sometimes be found in unexpected places. The economic backdrop of 1990 also adds context to the coin's production. During this period, the United States was experiencing moderate economic growth, along with concerns about inflation and federal spending. The continued production of pennies, despite debates over their cost-effectiveness, highlights the balance between practicality and tradition in U.S. currency policy. Pennies remained widely used in transactions, pricing structures, and cash exchanges, ensuring their ongoing demand. The 1990 cent, therefore, is not just a coin but also a reflection of the economic environment in which it was produced and circulated. From a cultural perspective, the Lincoln cent has long been more than just a unit of currency. It is often associated with saving habits, childhood memories, and everyday exchanges. Many people have collected pennies in jars, used them in games, or even relied on them for small acts of charity. The 1990 penny carries the same cultural significance, acting as a small but meaningful part of daily life. Its design, featuring one of America's most respected presidents, reinforces its symbolic value and connection to national identity. In addition, the 1990 penny contributes to the continuity of one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. The Lincoln portrait introduced in 1909 remained in use for nearly a century, making it one of the most enduring images in American coinage. By 1990, this design had already become deeply ingrained in the public consciousness. Coins like the 1990 cent help bridge the gap between generations, linking modern users with the historical origins of the series. Even as newer designs and commemorative issues emerge, the classic Lincoln cent remains a cornerstone of U.S. numismatics. In conclusion, the 1990 United States Lincoln 1-cent coin is more than just a common piece of change. It embodies the advancements in minting technology, the challenges of modern coin composition, and the enduring appeal of historic design. While most examples may not be rare or highly valuable, their importance lies in their role within the larger story of American currency. Whether viewed through the lens of history, economics, or collecting, the 1990 penny continues to hold relevance and interest, proving that even the smallest coins can carry a rich and lasting legacy. The 1994 United States Lincoln 1-cent coin is a modern circulation coin that forms part of the long-running Lincoln cent series, which have been in continuous production since 1909. This coin was struck at the Denver Mint, as indicated by the small D mint mark located beneath the date 1994 on the obverse side. Like other Lincoln cents of its era, it carries the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front, designed by Victor David Brenner. This portrait has remained one of the most enduring images in American coinage history, symbolizing honesty, leadership, and national unity. Above Lincoln's head is a national motto, "In God We Trust," while the word liberty appears on the left side of the coin. The date and mint mark appear on the right side, completing the traditional and familiar obverse design that collectors and the public instantly recognize. On the reverse side, the 1994 D penny features the Lincoln Memorial design, which was used from 1959 until 2008. This design, created by Frank Gasparo, depicts the Lincoln Memorial Building located in Washington, D.C. The structure is shown in detailed engraving, and within the central columns, a tiny image of Abraham Lincoln seated inside the memorial can be seen when examined closely. Above the memorial is the inscription, "United States of America," while the Latin phrase, "E pluribus unum," meaning out of many one, is placed just below it. At the bottom of the coin, the denomination 1 cent clearly identifies its value. This reverse design is especially meaningful because it connects a memory of Abraham Lincoln with a national monument dedicated to him, reinforcing his legacy in American history. The composition of the 1994 D. Lincoln cent reflects the modern minting standards adopted in 1982. It is made primarily of zinc, 97.5%, with a thin copper plating, 2.5%, on the surface. This change from the earlier bronze composition was introduced to reduce production costs, as copper became too expensive to use in such large quantities. The coin weighs approximately 2.5 grams and has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters with a smooth, plain edge. Although it appears to be a copper coin, the thin outer layer only gives it the appearance of copper while the internal structure is zinc-based. Over time, This composition can lead to surface issues if the coin is exposed to moisture or harsh environmental conditions, as the zinc core is more reactive than solid copper. The 1994 D penny was produced in extremely large quantities to meet the demand of everyday circulation in the United States. Because of this high mintage, it is considered a very common coin and is still widely found in pocket change today. Most examples are worth only their face value of 1 cent when circulated. However, uncirculated coins, those that have never been used in commerce, can carry a small premium, especially if they retain strong original luster and have minimal marks. Coins graded in high mint state conditions, such as MS-65 or above, are more desirable to collectors who specialize in modern Lincoln cents. Although the 1994 D-cent is not known for major rare varieties, collectors sometimes search for minor minting errors that can add interest and value. These may include off-center strikes, die cracks, and minor doubling in certain design elements. While such errors are not extremely common for this year, they do exist in small numbers due to the high production volume. Coin roll hunters often examine rolls of pennies from banks in hopes of finding unusual or high-quality examples, making even common coins like the 1994 D-cent part of an active collecting hobby. From a historical and economic perspective, the 1994 D-penny represents a period in which the United States economy was stable and growing. During the early 1990s, the mint continued producing billions of pennies annually despite ongoing discussions about the cost-effectiveness of the coin. The cost of producing a penny was already close to its face value, yet the coin remained essential for pricing, cash transactions, and vending systems. The 1994 D-cent reflects this balance between tradition and practicality, showing how even low-value coins remain deeply embedded in the financial system. The inscriptions on the coin also carry strong symbolic meaning. "In God We Trust" reflect a long-standing national motto that appears on all U.S. coinage, reinforcing a sense of shared identity. "Liberty" represents one of the foundational principles of the United States, emphasizing freedom and individual rights. "PLURIBUS UNUM" highlights unity among diversity, reminding citizens that the nation is formed from many states and cultures but functions as one country. Together with the image of Abraham Lincoln, these inscriptions transform the coin from a simple unit of currency into a representation of American values and history. For collectors, the 1994 D. Lincoln cent is often included in complete date and mint mark collections of the Lincoln Memorial Series. While it is not rare or highly valuable on its own, it plays an important role in completing sets that span decades of U.S. coinage history. Beginners in numismatics often start with coins like the 1994 D penny because they're easy to obtain and help develop basic collecting skills, such as identifying mint marks, understanding grading, and recognizing surface conditions. More advanced collectors may focus on finding high-grade specimens or searching for subtle variations within the series. In conclusion, the 1994 D United States Lincoln 1 cent coin is a common, yet historically and numismatically significant piece of modern American currency. Its familiar design, mass production, and symbolic inscriptions make it a staple of everyday life, while its connection to Abraham Lincoln ties it to a much deeper historical legacy. Although most examples are not rare in monetary terms, the coin remains important for collectors, educators, and historians alike. It represents not only the technical evolution of U.S. coinage, but also the enduring values and traditions that continue to define American identity. Another important dimension of the 1994 D. Lincoln cent is how it reflects a continued evolution of minting precision during the early 1990s. By this time, the United States Mint had refined high-speed coin production to an advanced level, using automated presses capable of striking coins at extremely high volumes while maintaining consistent design quality. Despite this technological advancement, subtle differences can still be observed among individual coins. Some 1994 D-cents show sharper detail in Lincoln's hair and facial features, while others may appear slightly weaker due to die wear or variations in striking pressure. These small differences are part of what makes even common modern coins interesting to collectors who study fine details. The surface behavior of the 1994 D penny over time also provides insight into the challenges of modern coin composition. Because the coin is made of a zinc core with a thin copper coating, it does not age in the same way as older solid copper cents. In circulated condition, many examples develop dark spots, discoloration, or uneven tone due to exposure to air, moisture, and chemicals. In some cases, the copper plating can separate or bubble, revealing the zinc underneath. This type of deterioration is often referred to as environmental or plating damage. As a result, well-preserved 1994 D pennies with full red color and strong luster are more desirable among collectors than heavily toned or damaged examples. From a numismatic study perspective, the 1994 D cent is also useful for understanding coin grading standards. Professional grading services evaluate coins based on factors such as strike quality, surface preservation, eye appeal, and luster. Even though the coin is common, a high-grade example, such as MS-66 or MS-67, can still attract collector interest. These coins typically show minimal contact marks, strong mint luster, and well-defined details. Proof-like or exceptionally well-struck business strikes are sometimes set aside by collectors who specialize in modern high-grade Lincoln cents. The 1994 D penny also highlights the ongoing role of the penny in everyday American commerce during the 1990s. Despite inflation reducing its purchasing power, the cent remained essential for pricing structures, especially in retail transactions where psychological pricing, such as 99 cents, was widely used. The coin was still actively used in vending machines, cash registers, and small exchanges. This continued usage justified its production, even as debates about eliminating the penny slowly began to grow in economic discussions. In addition, the coin reflects broader cultural habits surrounding money and saving. Many households continue to collect pennies in jars or containers, and children often use them for games, savings, or school activities. The familiarity of the Lincoln cent made it one of the most recognized objects in daily life. The 1994 D penny, like others from its era, contributed to this cultural experience, reinforcing the idea that even small denominations play a role in financial education and everyday life routines. Collectors also appreciate the 1994 D cent for its place within the larger Lincoln Memorial Cent series, which ran from 1959 to 2008. This long-running design allows collectors to build complete sets spanning nearly half a century. Each year, including 1994 D, represents a small piece of that continuous timeline. While no major design changes occurred during this period, variations in strike quality, mint output, and condition make each year unique in its own subtle way. This continuity is one reason why the Lincoln Cent series remains one of the most collected coin series in the world. In the broader context of U.S. monetary history, the 1994 D penny represents stability before significant design changes occurred in the 21st century. Just over a decade later, the Lincoln cent would undergo redesigns to commemorate Lincoln's bicentennial, replacing the memorial reverse with new designs representing different stages of his life. This makes coins like the 1994 D cent part of the classic memorial era, which is now closed and historically complete. Overall, the 1994 D United States Lincoln 1-cent coin is far more than just a common piece of change. It represents advanced minting technology, everyday economic activity, and long-standing national symbolism. While its face value is minimal, its importance lies in its historical continuity and role within one of the most famous coin series in the world. For collectors and enthusiasts, it serves as a reminder that even the most ordinary coins can carry rich detail, historical context, and lasting cultural meaning. The 1995 The United States Lincoln 1-cent coin is a fascinating and widely collected piece of American currency that reflects both the historical legacy of President Abraham Lincoln and the long-standing traditions of U.S. coinage. Minted in Denver, as indicated by the small D mint mark found just below the date on the obverse side, this coin is part of the Lincoln Memorial Cent series that was produced from 1959 to 2008. The obverse of the coin features the iconic right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Surrounding Lincoln's image are the inscriptions "In God We Trust" above his head, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1995, along with the D mint mark to the right. These elements are deeply symbolic, with liberty representing American values and "In God We Trust" serving as the official motto of the United States since 1956. On the reverse side of the 1995 D penny, the design showcases a Lincoln Memorial located in Washington, D.C., which was introduced in 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This design was created by Frank Gasparo, whose initials FG appear subtly on the reverse. Above the memorial is the inscription, United States of America, while E Pluribus Unum, meaning out of many one, appears just below it, symbolizing the unity of the states. At the bottom, the denomination 1 cent is clearly inscribed. Interestingly, if observed carefully, a tiny representation of Lincoln's statue can be seen within the memorial building, making this one of the few coins in the world to depict the same person on both the obverse and reverse sides. The 1995 D. Lincoln cent is composed primarily of zinc, 97.5%, with a thin copper plating, 2.5%, a composition that was adopted in 1982 due to the rising cost of copper. The coin weighs approximately 2.5 grams and has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters. Its edge is plain, unlike some coins that feature reeded edges. The Denver Mint produced over 7 billion of these coins in 1995, making it a very common issue in circulation. Because of this high mintage, most 1995 D pennies found in everyday change are not considered rare or highly valuable in circulated condition. However, coins that are in uncirculated mint state, condition, or those that exhibit errors can attract the attention of collectors. One of the most well-known varieties associated with the 1995 Lincoln Cent series is the 1995 Double Die Obverse, DDO, although this variety is more commonly found on coins minted in Philadelphia without a mint mark, rather than Denver. In the Double Die variety, the inscriptions such as Liberty and In God We Trust show noticeable doubling, making them highly desirable among collectors. While the 1995 D mint mark coins are less known for dramatic errors, minor varieties and minting anomalies such as off-center strikes, die cracks, or plating issues can still occur and may increase a coin's value depending on its severity and condition. In terms of value, a typical circulated 1995 D penny is generally worth only its face value of 1 cent. However, in uncirculated condition, especially those graded MS-65 or higher, the value can range from a few cents to a few dollars. Exceptional specimens with strong luster, minimal marks, and high-grade certification by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can command slightly higher prices. Error coins or unique varieties can be significantly more valuable, sometimes reaching tens or even hundreds of dollars depending on rarity and demand. The historical context of the 1995 D. Lincoln cent also adds to its interest. During the mid-1990s, the United States economy was experiencing growth, and coin production remained high to meet the needs of commerce. The Lincoln cent, despite debates over its continued usefulness due to low purchasing power, remained an essential part of everyday transactions. Collectors often appreciate coins like the 1995, not necessarily for their rarity, but for their role in completing date and mint mark sets and for their connection to American history. Overall, the 1995 The United States 1 cent coin is a classic example of modern American coinage. While it may not be rare in the traditional sense, it holds educational and historical value for collectors and enthusiasts alike. Its detailed design, rich symbolism, and connection to Abraham Lincoln make it a meaningful piece of currency. Whether found in pocket change or preserved in a coin collection, the 1995 D penny continues to represent a small yet significant part of the United States numismatic heritage, reminding us of the enduring legacy of one of America's most respected presidents and the evolution of its coinage system over time. The 1995 D. Lincoln cent also represents an important era in modern minting technology and mass production. By the 1990s, the United States Mint had fully transitioned into highly efficient, automated systems capable of producing billions of coins annually with remarkable consistency. The Denver Mint, one of the primary production facilities, played a crucial role in meeting the nation's demand for small denomination currency. The D mint mark on the 1995 penny is not just a simple letter. It signifies a long-standing minting tradition dating back to 1906, when the Denver Mint first began operations. Over the decades, it has produced countless coins that have circulated across the United States, making coins like the 1995 D penny a part of everyday American life. Another interesting aspect of the 1995 D cent is its surface quality and how it ages over time. Because the coin is made mostly of zinc with a thin copper coating, it is more susceptible to environmental damage compared to earlier solid copper pennies minted before 1982. Over time, exposure to moisture, air, and handling can cause the copper plating to wear away or develop spots, discoloration, or even bubbling, commonly referred to as zinc rot or plating deterioration. This makes finding well-preserved examples from 1995 slightly more challenging than one might expect for such a common coin. Collectors often look for coins with original red luster, which indicates minimal oxidation and better overall preservation. From a collector's perspective, the 1995 D penny is often included in Lincoln Cent albums and date and mint mark sets. These sets aim to include one coin from each year and mint location, making even common coins essential for completion. While the coin itself may not carry high monetary value, its role in completing a collection gives it significance. Many beginner collectors start with Lincoln Cents because they are affordable, widely available, and historically rich. The 1995 D coin fits perfectly into this category, serving as an accessible entry point into the world of numismatics. In addition to traditional collecting, some enthusiasts focus on searching through rolls of pennies, a practice known as coin roll hunting, in hopes of finding error coins or high-grade specimens. The 1995 D cent occasionally appears in such searches, and while major errors are rare, collectors remain hopeful of discovering something unusual, such as off-center strikes, die breaks, or coins with unusually strong strikes and brilliant surfaces. This treasure hunting aspect adds excitement and keeps even common coins like the 1995 D penny relevant among hobbyists. The cultural and symbolic importance of the inscriptions on the coin should not be overlooked either. PLURIBUS UNUM, which translates from Latin as out of many one, reflects a foundational idea of unity among the states. In God we trust, prominently displayed on the obverse, has been a standard feature on U.S. coins for decades and reflects the country's historical values. Liberty, placed beside Lincoln's portrait, emphasizes one of the core principles upon which the United States was built. Together, these inscriptions turn a simple 1-cent coin into a small piece of national identity and philosophy. It is also worth noting that during the time the 1995 D penny was in circulation, there were ongoing discussions about the future of the 1-cent coin itself. Due to inflation and the rising cost of production, many economists and policymakers questioned whether it was practical to continue minting pennies. Despite these debates, the penny has remained in production, partly due to tradition and public attachment. Coins like the 1995 D cent serve as reminders of this ongoing conversation and the balance between economic efficiency and cultural heritage. Finally, while the 1995 D Lincoln Cent may not be a rare or high-value coin, its true worth lies in its historical continuity and educational value. It connects collectors to over a century of Lincoln Cent history, from its introduction in 1909 to modern-day issues. Each coin tells a story, not just about the year it was minted, but about the people who used it, the economy it circulated in, and the technological advancements that made its production possible. For many collectors, this deeper meaning is far more valuable than the coin's face value, making the 1995 D penny a meaningful and enduring piece of American numismatic history.